starts right now.
Texas now one step closer to making camping in public areas illegal for those experiencing homelessness. The Texas House just passed Bill 1925 after an increase of homeless camps in major Texas cities.
But one state representative who is against that bill tells the Night Team's Japhanie Gray there is a better solution than slapping homeless individuals with criminal offenses.
It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not a one cure because everybody is homeless for a different reason.
If signed into law, House Bill 1925 would make it illegal for those experiencing homelessness to camp in public areas. If caught, they could face a Class C misdemeanor, a charge that comes with a possible $500 fine. State Representative Barbara Gerben-Hawkins worries it could start a vicious cycle.
You're homeless, you don't have any money. How can you pay the fine? When you don't pay the fine, you get called to court, you don't show up at court. Now there's a warrant for your arrest.
Those who support the bill say it's a humanitarian issue and homeless encampments pose a public safety and health risk. But those who oppose it, including Gerben-Hawkins, believes the bill would criminalize people despite their unwanted circumstances.
It could be you're down on your luck. It could be mental illness, our kids that age out of foster care. It could be thrown away children. So we've got to look at it more holistically, not just trying to criminalize people.
Gerben-Hawkins presented an amendment to the bill that would allow officers to give warnings to homeless individuals first before slapping them with a fine. Her amendment was shot down. However, there are two other amendments she hopes are considered that could offer other options.
That homeless person who have tried to get help should not be fined. If someone doesn't have the funds, that maybe they could do community service.
She says there is no one right answer to end homelessness, but they could start by sending mobile units to these targeted areas.
So I don't think we have to put a lot of money into it. We just need to connect and bring the services to the people rather than waiting on them to come to the services.
Japhanie Gray, KSAT 12 News.
That bill now headed to the state Senate. If the Senate approves it and Governor Greg Abbott signs it into law, it would take effect in September. All of this happening just as Austin passed a proposition to reinstate a camping ban there.
The COVID-19 vaccine effort continuing here in Bexar County and across the state of Texas. As we've reported, supply is exceeding demand. The Night Team's Jonathan Cotto joins us live from the city's mass vaccination site at the Alamo Dome. Jonathan, how many people in our community have received the COVID-19 vaccine?
Courtney, about 39% of people in Bexar County are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19, according to data from the Texas Department of State Health Services. That's about 615,000 people. Let's take a look at the numbers. 51% of people in Bexar County have received at least one dose. Meanwhile, across Texas, 8.7 million people are fully vaccinated. That's 38.8%. And more than half of Texans have received at least one dose of that vaccine. When it comes to those 65 and older, 65% of Texans and 61% of those in Bexar County are now fully vaccinated. Of course, there is still a major effort to get even more people vaccinated to stop the spread of COVID-19, especially as new variants emerge. And here in San Antonio, it has never been easier. And here at the Alamo Dome, no appointment is necessary. You can step up, drive up, not even have to get out of your car to get your COVID-19 vaccine. The hours of operation are from 9 a.m. to 6:30. From Tuesday to Saturday for those 16 and older. And you can also have more options. You can find those options at KSAT.com. Tim?
Thank you, Jonathan. The federal government says they are supposed to be free. So why did a local man get charged hundreds of dollars for his COVID vaccine shots? He got them at a local urgent care clinic, but says he couldn't get an answer about a surprise bill. So we contacted the defenders with help with what appears to be a nationwide problem. It is tonight's Defenders investigation.
She was very active early on in trying to secure vaccines for us and our immediate family.
Richard Garza's wife is a dentist. So in early January, she began the hunt for a vaccination appointment for herself.
I work directly in people's mouths and in aerosols and everything. So I feel like it's a little bit higher of a risk possible. Rick is exposed to me and he does fall into 1B. So he's at a higher risk of getting severe COVID-19 illness. So I wanted to make sure that we got him vaccinated as soon as possible as well.
Dr. Garza got her appointment at a local hospital. but she booked Richard's appointment here, a Christus Promptu urgent care located on Culebra Road on the far northwest side.
I was checking a lot of different places pretty regularly, and as soon as a spot opened up, I just put him in there.
On January 15th, Garza rolled up his sleeve and got his first jab of the Moderna vaccine.
They asked me which arm I wanted the shot in, and it was very quick. And before I knew it, I was just waiting in the observation time period, and then I left.
Garza returned to the same location on February 12th for his second shot.
So that's all they did. You went there, you got the shot in the arm, and waited, and you were done.
Yes, sir. Yep.
The Garzas were now fully vaccinated and thought that was the end of the process. But 15 days after getting that second shot, they got a surprise in the mail.
I just kind of turned to him and I was like, "We got a bill for your COVID vaccine." And of course, I was really surprised because I knew it was supposed to be free.
What is the total bill that you have been given?
The total bill was $394.39.
The invoice didn't even specify what they were being billed for. It only listed medical services, $183 for the first visit and $211.39 for the second. Dr. Garza contacted the company's billing department to point out what she believed was a mistake.
But they didn't, acknowledge any error on their part.
When their insurance provider refused to cover the charges, the Garzas filed an appeal, but it was denied.
And all that they said was after review, they were upholding their decision to keep the charges for the urgent care visit.
The problem? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, vaccination providers cannot charge you for the vaccine or charge you directly for any administration fees, co-pays, or co-insurance. They can seek reimbursement from your insurance provider for a vaccine administration fee, but they cannot charge you the balance of the bill. In other words, you should pay nothing for the vaccine.
I feel like the entire thing was an error, and that they just kind of need to make sure that they're in compliance with the rules for vaccination providers.
And according to the Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, it's not just happening here in Texas. The OIG is aware of complaints by patients about these charges by providers, adding that those who charge the impermissible fees must refund the money and stop charging the fees. So what happened here? We reached out to representatives for Christus Health and asked for an interview, which they declined. But on the same day they were contacted by the defenders, Christus informed the Garzas they no longer owed anything.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
She was very forthcoming and apologetic and was like, this was first and foremost a billing error. And, now we are doing everything we can to clear your account.
In a statement to the defenders, Christus Health said, "We are deeply sorry for the error and the inconvenience it caused, and will always work to ensure that the same happens for everyone who visits one of our facilities."
There's really no telling, how many people did it happen to? And are they going to resolve it, when those people reach out, or are they actually looking into it on their own?
The Garzas hope Christus Health sticks to its word and fixes any other errors that may have occurred. But they also worry about the effect mistakes like this could have on people's decision to get vaccinated.
My big fear is that if people hear that they might be charged or billed, that they're just not going to get the vaccine, which is the worst case scenario. Right. We don't need any further barriers for people to getting the vaccine.
And again, as we mentioned, these vaccines are supposed to be free of charge to anyone who wants one. You should not be billed. If you did get a bill like the Garzas, we'd like to hear from you, and so would the federal government. Look for this story online to find out how you can file a complaint against a provider with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Inspector General. And you can share your stories with us by sending an email to defenders@ksat.com.
More top stories we're following tonight. San Antonio firefighters had to use the jaws of life to get a woman out of her car after a crash on the west side overnight. Police now believe alcohol is to blame. This happened around 1 in the morning near Highway 151 and West Military Drive. Police say the driver was speeding when she lost control and hit a utility pole. She was responsive when she was taken to the hospital, but had serious injuries. No one else was hurt.
Outside with live cam tonight, it is still plenty warm out there. Very, very humid as well. Nonetheless, Hope you had a great Mother's Day today and a wonderful weekend. It was toasty again this afternoon. We started off mid-70s this morning, up to 91 this afternoon. I think we'll see very similar temperatures tomorrow, so it will be staying warm and muggy into Monday, and that will act as fuel for some storms expected to develop tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. So storm chances will be dominating the forecast Monday into Tuesday early in the week. Coming up, we'll talk about timing here, the severe threats we're expecting, and how much more rainfall we could pick up over the next few days. All that ahead in just a bit.
Thank you, Katie. Still ahead on the Nightbeat, it's a rare genetic disorder that you may not have heard of, why Williams syndrome symptoms may be misleading in many children, and how you can get your child tested.
Plus, celebrities joining forces to urge Americans to get the COVID-19 vaccine. We'll take a look at where we are when it comes to achieving herd immunity. That's next. Right now, more than 112 million Americans, nearly a third of the population, are fully vaccinated, but that's still far below where the country needs to be to reach herd immunity. In an effort to urge Americans to get vaccinated, celebrities joined forces for the Global Citizen Vax Live telecast. In pre-recorded remarks, President Joe Biden also joining that effort.
The vaccines are safe. I promise you, they're safe. They work. Everybody in America 16 years old and older is now eligible to get vaccinated for free now.
It does not look like the country is on pace to meet the president's goal of administering at least one dose to 70% of American adults by July 4th. So far, only 4 states, Connecticut, Hawaii, Massachusetts, and Vermont, have met that goal. Meanwhile, CDC researchers are determining whether it'll be necessary to give regular booster shots similar to flu vaccines to address specific variants.
Well, I hope all you moms out there had a cold drink today of some kind, because
or took a dip in a cool pool.
Exactly.
Right?
It was toasty.
Very muggy.
It was really hot. 105 the high in Del Rio. That's a new record for them. Obviously, it didn't get that hot here in town, but we still made it into the low 90s. I want to update you on something we talked about on the news at 5:30. There was a severe thunderstorm watch issued for parts of the Hill Country this evening. It's been extended for Kendall, Blanco, Gillespie, and Kerr counties until midnight, and it's all because of one pesky storm in northern Gillespie County that has really started to weaken over the last few minutes. So I do not anticipate this being a problem. But if you're in Fredericksburg or Harper and you look off to the north, you may see some lightning. But this thunderstorm cell is really weakening, and I anticipate no thunderstorms overnight. Not a whole lot of rain either. It won't be until tomorrow afternoon that we see those rain chances kick in. That little lone thunderstorm cell likely riding along a cold front that has started to move into Texas today. We've still got some severe weather across portions of far east Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, but things are pretty quiet here in Texas for now. As we get into tomorrow afternoon, that will start to change. So this front will hang out to our north overnight. Tomorrow, another warm and humid day, getting hot again tomorrow afternoon with some clearing. That heat, the humidity, fuel for thunderstorms. They do need that to develop. So we will start to see some storms develop tomorrow afternoon and evening, and there is a concern for some severe weather. That front will drop south Monday into Tuesday, but we're going to keep the rain chances going through the middle of the week due to an active jet stream. We have a very unsettled active weather pattern in place through the middle of this week. So that's why we're going to prolong chances of rain and even some strong to severe storms over a couple of days here, mainly Monday into Tuesday, with rain chances beginning to taper off by Wednesday. So we'll start you off with a look at your Monday forecast. Overnight, low clouds will roll back in. Fog and drizzle likely to start the day tomorrow. We're going to start off at 75 with sky high humidity. Head into the afternoon, still humid, but getting pretty warm with some clearing. And I think that's when we could start to see some isolated storms develop west of 35. Any storms that get going tomorrow afternoon definitely could become severe. And then we're looking at a scattering of storms by late Monday evening into Monday night. Futurecast paints a good picture of what we think could happen through lunchtime. Pretty quiet after that as things heat up, maybe as early as 2-3 p.m. Some isolated strong storms developing west of 35. Also along the higher terrain of northern Mexico, we could see coverage of storms start to increase between about 4-7 p.m. tomorrow. Any of these storms, as soon as they start to grow, they could quickly become severe, with storm activity continuing as we get closer to this time tomorrow night, likely even past midnight. As these storms move east, they'll likely weaken, but they're going to pack pack a punch at first, that's for sure. And we keep going into Tuesday. More upper level disturbances moving through will bring us more thunderstorms as we get into the day on Tuesday. Timing here looks like mid to late morning through late afternoon, but even a few stragglers possible into late Tuesday. So here's tomorrow's severe weather risk. It is highest east of 35, but essentially everyone should pay attention tomorrow. The storm threats here, very large hail, damaging winds, and a tornado. Just the way these storms will be structured tomorrow, a lot of them I think could be supercell structure. So that presents a concern for all modes of severe weather, but emphasis on the very large hail. I think that's our biggest issue heading into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. We're talking some instances with hail larger than 2 inches in diameter. That's bigger than a golf ball. Do think that's our biggest concern tomorrow. Now, we will have to dodge severe weather through the middle of the week. We'll be here to walk you through that, but we are looking at more beneficial rainfall. I think 1 to 1.5 inches of rain is a good bet for a lot of folks, with some totals getting closer to 2 inches. This will be through Wednesday evening, so that's some good news. We still will take the rain while we can get it. So keep in mind, next couple of days, Monday into Tuesday, severe storms will be possible. We'll be here to keep you updated on air, online, and of course via the KSAT weather app. Rain chances taper off by Wednesday, and the back half of the work and school week looks pretty quiet. Guys,
love the rain chances. Let's hope that severe stuff stays clear of us.
Yes. Go away, hail.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. Still ahead on the Nightbeat, doctors around the United States are cautiously optimistic in the battle against COVID-19, but why they say the fight is still far from over.
Plus, it's a birth defect causing heart issues, learning disabilities, and distinct facial features. You may or may not have heard of it, and our local Williams syndrome community is trying to change that. The story next.
Never miss a story. Watch live or when you want. San Antonio's latest news and weather, streaming free on KSAT TV.
It's a rare genetic disorder seen in about 1 in 10,000 births in the U.S. Though many people don't know about Williams syndrome, there is a large community of families right here in San Antonio who have created a support system. They consider themselves a family, and during their awareness month right now in May, they're trying to spread the word about Williams syndrome, which is often confused with autism with its symptoms. And they want to tell you what parents should look for if their child hasn't been tested.
Since 5-year-old Daisy was a baby, her family knew something was different about her.
The way she reacted to noises, she would get absolutely terrified. Any little noise, her arms would flail, and that we later found out was hypersensitive hearing.
Daisy's mom, Lorraine Borrego, said many traits lined up with autism. So while they waited to do the appropriate testing, they enrolled her in therapy starting at 6 months old.
She is occupational therapy, physical therapy.
She has physical therapy.
At 3, when Daisy passed autism tests, they finally did genetic testing and found out she had the rare genetic disorder Williams syndrome. It causes many developmental problems, which can include heart and blood vessel issues and learning disabilities.
Very, very prominent features. I mean, you put them all in the same room and it's like, oh my gosh, they're all related. It's absolutely adorable.
The specific facial features like wide mouth, small upturned nose, widely spaced teeth, and full lips are typically accompanied by an overly friendly personality.
I love people.
They just want to talk. They'll talk about anything. They're some of the funnest people to be around. They all love music. They all play instruments. And
Daisy has dealt with seizure-like issues and dental problems. The diagnosis was overwhelming until they found San Antonio's chapter of the Williams Syndrome Association.
I can't even count how many people we met. I had no idea that we had such a big family here. I mean, you see all these older people that have it, and they're just fantastic.
For families who see a little of their undiagnosed children in Daisy, Borrego suggests genetic testing.
A lot of insurances nowadays pay for it. It's real easy, swab of the mouth. The parents get swabbed. I mean, we knew within a month. And it was well worth the wait.
Now they can breathe better, knowing Daisy's differences are worth celebration, not worry.
And if your child or family member has been diagnosed with Williams syndrome and you're looking for support, the Williams Syndrome Association in San Antonio offers parent help, classes, and information. We have a link to their website on KSAT.com.
Thank you, Courtney. The San Antonio Spurs return home after losing 3 out of their 4 games on the road. So what are their chances of making the playoffs now? With more of what's on Instant Replay tonight, let's check in with Greg Simmons.
Maybe even the better question is, what are their chances of making the play-in tournament, which is, the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th teams. And after what happened last night in AT&T Stadium, is Canelo Alvarez now the best fighter in all of boxing? Coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay.
Lillard, 3 straight from distance. Portland now up 9.
Playing in Portland last night was no bed of roses for the Spurs as the Blazers' backcourt of Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum lit up the silver and black for a combined 57 points. Now where the Spurs stand making the playoffs through the play-in tournament, we will show you.
They have stopped the fights. It is over. Canelo gets the knockout win. I'm not sure what happened to the corner of Saunders.
After what happened last night in AT&T Stadium, is Canelo Alvarez now the best in boxing? After a slow start, Alvarez roars back to win by TKO, and Billy Joe Saunders cannot answer the bell for the 9th round. We'll show you the punch that sent previously undefeated Saunders to the hospital for surgery.
Last year, my senior year, I'm going to college. Let's leave this with the game. No, I said no regrets. I use every year that I didn't win as motivation to do better the next year. And so I'm just really proud that I was able to finally come here and just get a win.
And the UIL State Track and Field Meet has wrapped up. Who is bringing home the hardware from Austin? Our Larry Ramirez will have the results. All that plus how the Missions are off to a great start of their 2021 season. And do you think the Spurs will win another game in their final 5 of the regular season? Tonight, you decide. Instant Replay is live, and it's after the Nightbeat. And wait till you see the teams they have to face in the final 5.
Running the gauntlet, huh?
Not easy, nope.
All right, thank you, Greg. We'll see you again in just a little bit. Still ahead of the Nightbeat, a sneak peek at this week's episode of KSAT Explains.
Plus, 2 brothers credit their mother for their successful business and habit of giving back to the community. It's this week's What's Up, South Texas.
We'll be right back. Let's get to the latest now in the COVID-19 pandemic. As the number of confirmed cases continues to decline here in the U.S., they are going up big time in India.
Yeah, ABC's Andrew Dimbert reports there are more than 22 million cases there and 242,000 deaths.
Tonight, India's healthcare system battling to get coronavirus under control. This doctor tells ABC he doesn't have enough personnel to treat the surge of COVID-19 patients. Those he has are being pushed to their limits.
Patients have died in the emergency room because we didn't have a bed in the ICU or ventilator. We just didn't have space. These are lives which could have been saved.
The country reported more than 400,000 new COVID cases, including more than 4,000 deaths in 24 hours. Numbers experts believe are significantly underreported. One estimate predicts 1 million Indians could die from COVID-19 by August. Dr. Anthony Fauci says action is needed.
There's an immediate problem, which is hospital beds, oxygen, PPE, and other supplies. And then there's the problem looking forward of how you're going to shut this down. Vaccines is one of them, but there are other ways too, like shutting down the government.
Now volunteers stepping in, converting this temple into a makeshift clinic, administering much needed oxygen. Meantime, in the U.S., a much different story. Cases now at a 7-month low as more people get vaccinated. This week, the FDA meeting to decide whether to grant emergency use authorization for Pfizer's vaccine for kids ages 12 to 15.
I said you gotta go and get your second shot.
Hip-hop icon Daryl DMC McDaniels of Run DMC creatively getting the word out as he received his second shot in Harlem. Dr. Anthony Fauci suggesting indoor mask guidance should get more liberal as more people get vaccinated, adding the CDC will likely be updating recommendations. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
A tragic scene at a birthday party in Colorado Springs today where 6 people were shot and killed. The shooting happened at a mobile home subdivision. Colorado Springs police officials say the boyfriend of one of the victims arrived at the party and began shooting. He eventually took his own life. The victims were discovered dead this morning, with one of them being transferred to a nearby hospital.
We did have one adult who was transported to a local hospital. Unfortunately, that individual has succumbed to their injuries.
Right now, the motive for the shooting is unknown, but police say several children were at the party but were uninjured. They are now with family members.
The Colonial Pipeline says it has some smaller lines flowing once again following Friday's cyber attack, but the main system is still down tonight. Today, a company spokesperson says it is in the process of restoring the IT systems affected by the hackers. Officials are working to develop a safe restart plan following the ransomware cyber attack. The Washington Post reporting a Russian group called Dark Side is allegedly responsible for that attack. The Biden administration responding this morning.
It's an all-hands-on-deck effort right now, and we are working closely with the company, state and local officials to make sure that they get back up to normal operations as quickly as possible and there aren't disruptions in supply.
That pipeline moves more than 100 million gallons of gasoline and other fuels each day from Houston to New York.
Making headlines around the country, the balcony of a Malibu beach home collapses, leaving a total of 9 people injured, 4 of which had to be hospitalized. The other 5 were treated at the scene. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department says the people on the balcony fell about 10 to 15 feet. A witness who saw the incident describes what happened.
We heard a crack, and I literally saw all of my best friends and my girlfriend fall 15 feet to the rocks. And I mean, it was a freak accident. Like, I don't know how that happens.
But a neighbor says he saw 30 people on the balcony despite the limit being 6. The homeowner also says that same neighbor was trying to tell the tenants to leave right as it collapsed.
Another look outside with live cam for you tonight. Not a whole lot of clouds just yet, but we will see gray skies by early tomorrow morning. It is going to be a humid, muggy start to the day and start to the week tomorrow morning. So remember that severe thunderstorm watch we talked about at the top of the newscast for some of our hill country counties? They let that go early because that storm that was in northern Gillespie County just in the last 20 minutes has fizzled away to essentially nothing. So we'll be rain free tonight. There was another severe storm up in the hill country earlier this evening. This was the view from Castroville. You could see this thing all the way down to Highway 90 in San Antonio. Thanks for that great KSAT Connect picture. That severe storm earlier in the evening dropped some big hail in northeastern Gillespie County and into western Blanco County as well. We could see some similar storms tomorrow with the threat of storms hanging around. I think we'll see more storms as we get into tomorrow. Now, speaking of hail, hail is what we're covering in the next episode of KSAT Explains. That is going to be ready to view here pretty soon. It's very timely considering last Monday's hailstorm and the severe weather that we have had around recently. Here's what you can expect on this next episode of KSAT Explains.
Few things in life are certain, but when it comes to San Antonio in the spring, there is a good chance you're going to see some hail. And this year, we've seen our share of hailstorms.
This was a big hail event for us. It sort of reminded me of 2016.
I mean, we're talking baseball-sized hail.
This is round 2 of the hail.
If you've lived in South Texas for a while, you're probably no stranger to hail, but there's a lot about the science of these weather events that you may not know. We're taking a look at how hail forms, why this region of Texas gets so many hailstorms, and just how much damage these weather events can cause.
All About Hail is out Tuesday night. We'll stream the episode live on KSAT.com, the KSAT TV app on streaming devices, and KSAT's Facebook page at 7 p.m. Tuesday. If you can't watch it live, we'll post the full episode so you can watch on demand later Tuesday evening. Look for that episode this week at KSAT.com/explains.
Let's hope it is not hailing when that show is released. Thank you, Katie. Still ahead on the Nightbeat, debris from the Chinese rocket that came hurtling back towards Earth's atmosphere doesn't appear to have caused much of a disturbance, but NASA is still criticizing China over its handling of the whole situation.
And 2 local brothers operating a successful business find ways to give back to the community. They say it's all thanks to their humble upbringing and their mother. It's tonight's What's Up South Texas after the break.
Just in time for Mother's Day, 2 brothers who started their own barbershop say they did it all thanks to their mother who raised them to be the men they are today.
They're next on What's Up South Texas, where they show the night team's Japhanie Gray their journey and how they're giving back to their community.
From humble beginnings.
Yeah, I was like cutting in a restaurant restroom. Really small, really cluttered, really moldy.
Brick by brick, brothers Fonzie and Gilbert Lopez made their dreams of owning their own barbershop come true.
Having each other was what helped us get through both every time we hit those brick walls.
They started Barber Bros in 2015 and now It is a thriving business. They credit the most important woman in their lives, their mother, who raised 5 sons on her own.
Raised us the men we are today, but I mean, things got a lot hard for us when we were kids.
Growing up, all 5 boys had to learn how to raise and teach each other, including how to cut their hair.
We started cutting each other's hair, practicing, just so we had a haircut every week. And we just got better and better.
They did make a mistake or two in the process.
So I tried to cut my own hair by myself, and man, I had to wear a jacket in the summertime because I messed up the back of my hair.
Coming from a struggling household on the South Side to now owning their own business, the duo has made it a point to give back to the community.
Just alone, the haircuts were always a pain in the butt for her, and then time to get her school clothes. So that's when we decided, like, hey, you know what, there's people out there like our mom.
They hold back-to-school drives and haircuts for children on the South Side, serve and cater to veterans, and provide free haircuts while feeding the homeless. They say they are grateful to give back and are grateful to have each other along this journey.
Whenever he sets out something to go and do, he does it, and it's gonna happen. Back in the day, it was nuts. Yeah, but he's a good big brother. He's always trying to support us. So, thank you.
For What's Up South Texas, I'm Japhanie Gray.
Well, a 4-year-old boy in McAllen battling a brain tumor has always wanted to be a firefighter. And this weekend, the Make-A-Wish Foundation went above and beyond to make it happen. Justin Perez has always loved the sight of bright red fire trucks. When McAllen Fire Department found out about Justin, they were happy to help make his wish a reality.
His request to be a firefighter today, we didn't make him a firefighter today, we made him chief for a day.
I have no words to explain it. It's amazing. We were expecting something big, but this is honestly beyond words.
Unbelievable. Justin was treated to an honor guard, pipes and drums, and even a helicopter ride from state troopers.
Way to go, Chief. This weekend, you probably heard a lot of talk about debris from a Chinese rocket that was hurtling uncontrolled back to Earth. And while it doesn't appear that the debris caused any harm, NASA is still criticizing China for the situation. The space agency's administrator and former Senator Bill Nelson released a statement on NASA's website saying, quote, "It is clear that China is failing to meet responsible standards regarding their space debris." Nelson also added that space-faring nations have to minimize the risks of rocket material and be transparent about operations. The debris from China's rocket re-entered the Earth's atmosphere over the Arabian Peninsula Saturday evening. According to U.S. Space Command, the rocket is one of the largest objects in recent memory to strike Earth after falling out of orbit.
Well, it won't be giant rockets falling from the sky, but possibly really big hail.
Yes, everyone's tired of the hail. We've had a couple events already this spring severe weather season, and I do think that's a big possibility that we see more large hail tomorrow. I don't say that to scare you. I say that to get you prepared so that you're ready to go tomorrow, and we will talk about that forecast. I want to show you a cool time lapse, though, and keep your eyes fixed on the center of your screen. This is from the airport, but this is showing the development of the severe storm that was over parts of the hill country this evening. There it is. It was awesome to see, and as we got closer to sunset, the sunlight from the west caught the backside of the storm. It was really cool. Nice structures with supercell thunderstorms. They're very photogenic. Typically, you can see them from a ways away, but they are also the type of storms that are capable of producing what we call all modes of severe weather. So everything from hail to potentially tornadoes. So here tomorrow, with tomorrow's storms, here's our severe weather risks from highest to lowest. Hail, very high threat for some large hail tomorrow. We're talking about some hail that could be larger than 2 inches in diameter. It's larger than the size of a golf ball. These storms will also be capable of producing very strong straight line wind gusts. Sometimes those types of wind gusts can do as much damage as a low-end tornado. Now, the supercell structure of storms that we could see tomorrow does support the potential for tornadoes, but our atmosphere is much more primed to not produce so many tornadoes, more so large hail than anything else. So that is the biggest concern. I'll walk you through Futurecast one more time. I think this paints a pretty good picture of what we'll see tomorrow. Gray to start the day. Some patchy fog and drizzle certainly will be possible. And as we get to lunchtime tomorrow, things will stay pretty quiet. As we get into the afternoon, especially if we really clear out, see a lot of sun and heat up, that heat coupled with the humidity in place, will act as fuel for thunderstorms, and we could start to see some storms go up west of 35 as early Monday afternoon. By Monday evening, we could see more widespread thunderstorm activity starting to develop, more of a scattering of strong to severe storms through 6 p.m., with these storms continuing to make eastward progress through 10 p.m. and then eventually after midnight. Now, likely these storms originating off to the west as they move east, which is fairly typical. They'll start to weaken such that by early Tuesday, the pre-dawn hours of Tuesday morning, things could be pretty quiet, but we could be left with a few lingering storms there. As we get into Tuesday, more disturbances moving on through. Going to bring another complex of storms through. It looks like this should get to San Antonio late morning, mid to late morning on Tuesday, and pace through mid-afternoon on Tuesday, maybe even a couple of straggler showers in storms beyond that as we get into Tuesday evening. So we really need to stay weather aware Monday into Tuesday. Make sure that you have a way to get severe weather alerts. Of course, with any storms that start to develop tomorrow afternoon and evening, we'll hop on air. Need be, we've got our evening newscast, but you can also get live weather coverage anytime on the KSAT weather app if you're not at home in front of your TV or computer. Last week during the severe weather, I was at a restaurant, stuck at a restaurant under the storm, and I watched Adam and Sarah's coverage on my phone thanks to the KSAT weather app. So that will be something that, of course, we'll utilize tomorrow when necessary. Just make sure you allow notifications so that you can get alerts when the weather team is live. And we'll be here to keep you updated over the next couple of days. Aside from the severe weather, some more good rain is possible. I think a lot of folks could see 1 to 1.5 inches of rain through Wednesday evening, with some locally higher totals, maybe up above 2 inches in spots. So good news there with the continued rainfall. It is warm and it is muggy. Look at these dew points. They are in the 70s, so that sets us up for a gray, muggy start to the day tomorrow. But keep in mind, after lunchtime, we'll be keeping an eye to the sky for some of those severe thunderstorms beginning to develop. Storms hang around through Tuesday. We'll wrap up the rain by Wednesday. Guys,
watch out for those ice balls.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
6 years of searching. Please let this be it.
Raya and the Last Dragon added theaters and remained in 5th place with $1.9 million. Godzilla vs. Kong fell to 4th on ticket sales of $1.93 million. Mortal Kombat took 3rd, earning $2.4 million.
Wake up and fight!
After one weekend on top, Demon Slayer the movie Mugen Train fell to 2nd, making $3.1 million.
Do you have any idea how dangerous this job can be?
Wrath of Man shot its way to the top. The 4th collaboration between Jason Statham and writer-director Guy Ritchie debuted in 1st place with $8.1 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, the Spurs begin their final 5 of the regular season starting tomorrow against the Milwaukee Bucks.
And why a San Antonio woman is petitioning NBA Commissioner Adam Silver not to hold the NBA's Basketball Africa League games in Rwanda. With more on what's on Instant Replay tonight, let's head over to Greg Simmons.
You may remember a little bit of that story last Sunday. Now it's transitioning now into sports. And San Antonio FC winds up in a draw with the Real Monarchs, but so far no losses to kick off the USL season. Coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay.
Who they are, that's what's important. That's exactly what they're doing. It's an and one. Antetokounmpo has 8 with a free throw coming.
Yeah, the Spurs tip off their final 5 of the regular season tomorrow night against the Bucks, and it won't be easy. Every team they face in the last week of the season is right now playoff bound, including back-to-back games against the Phoenix Suns. And tomorrow, a former Spur is part of Milwaukee's success this season. And why is a San Antonio woman petitioning the commissioner of the NBA to halt the Basketball Africa League games in Rwanda? It's part of Daniel Villanueva's story that aired last Sunday and presented tonight by our Larry Ramirez.
Beautiful ball through, and that's in!
So far, so good for our San Antonio FC. After a hat trick kicked off the season last week, they played to a 2-2 draw last night with the Real Monarchs. Equally as good as our start as our San Antonio Missions are now 4-2 to begin the season after a dramatic come-behind victory against the Hooks in Corpus Christi today on Mother's Day. Who are some of the stars we should keep an eye on? We will tell you. All that plus, is it time to shut down Patty Mills for the rest of the regular season as he struggles with his shot while trying to fight through the fatigue of this compressed COVID pandemic season? The sports guys are here tonight to answer that. Instant Replay is live, and it's next. And happy Mother's Day and happy Mom's Day to moms-to-be, too.
Oh, thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. We'll see you again in just a little bit.
You got it.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.